up there for a second. I don't know. I think I got so tick there for a second when the game crashed for the third time within an hour. I don't know how long we were live there for a second. Anyway, like when we were playing the game. I'm not even going to play the game. Now, maybe we might do Captain Simulator because I was actually planning to play it for 2 or 3 hours tonight, the Police Simulator. But I would look, maybe Captain Simulator. Obviously, they need to fix it. If it's going to be like this into January, we won't be playing it at all. And like, it's sad now. So I was actually enjoying it. I was actually all excited for the update. I was like, hell yeah. Because if they need to update it now tomorrow. If they need to do it. We try it tomorrow maybe, but then, they need to sort it out tomorrow now. They can't let it just lie into January. Because I can't even play the game at all. You've seen that 3 times it crashed. Like, I was doing nothing too exciting. I was just basically putting over. Yeah, I was going after somebody there who ran a red light, was turning around, and the game crashed. So it doesn't make any sense. Don't know why. Like, you've seen that. I just turned around, and the game crashed. So I was just turning around after something, the game crashed. It doesn't make any sense. So that's the third time within an hour it crashed. Yeah, I just said it come on just to see for a second. I don't know why it's crashing, but exactly. I don't know. Is it something I did or is it something in the game? I think it's just the update that fucked the game over. To be totally honest, Sean. How long was that end of that live stream? Do you remember? It was probably a good 20 minutes, was it? After. But the other crash happened within about 10 minutes of each other. So basically, if I started another live stream now, I will tomorrow just to see if it's fixed, because I have to fix it. They should fix it tonight. 22 minutes, yeah. And it crashed, yeah. Like you couldn't really live stream, like say we're back on the game now, and I went live again on it. You couldn't just do that every 22 minutes or every 10 minutes. I think it was between 10 minutes the other one. And just happen to switch and go back and start again and all that. Like you couldn't do that. It's the third time tonight now. I had to go and do that. I shouldn't have to even do it once, Again, because it is a brand new game. It's only a few months old. We might play. I don't know. I don't think we'll play anymore tonight. I'm kind of a bit annoyed now. Over the game crashing. Because I was all delighted with the new update. I was like, yes, lovely. But it looks like it's the update that caused crashes, But definitely 3 times in a row, anyway. Let me just see. Is anybody else skipping out about it? Yeah, I don't know. It's something that they done in the update that fucked it over. Give me a second, sorry. I wonder am I the only one this is happening to? I wish I could know that. Because I hardly doubt it's on my end, because I updated the game and I have to... Wonder before I went and start playing it. Just give me a second, so I'm just trying to find out. They do have a Twitter. So I'm just reading through them. I don't know. People seem to be not important. But again, it's only about 4 hours live. I don't know. What do we think? Do you think it's just me or what do you think? It was definitely the game. It wasn't the PlayStation or anything. The game of and yeah, it seems like that. Because again, it's different if it wasn't updated. Like before that, it was janky, like the game a bit, but I updated it today, and that might have been the problem. It's something that, like, it says in my head, I'm say it's telling me to go and give it another try and see how it goes. But I'm just like, I leave it for tonight and come baby back tomorrow after we do Ghost Recon, the Ghost game. We do the rest of their missions. We do that, and then we come back and then we look and see what's the story then. I think that's the best idea. Because I think it just crash again and I'd just be pissed. It's a kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, it kind of lowered my mood a bit tonight. I was in a good bit, I was a good mood, and after that I'm just getting like, oh fuck this, you know. Just because you don't want it to be crashing all the time. You want to play the game, you don't want to be looking at the screen all day just crashing, you know. It's frustrating, yeah. It'd be different if it happened once and then the second time you were able to play it with Bob's Yoko, no issue. Like I live streamed this game before when it first came out for 4 or 5 hours, and there was no problems. And I've only, I'm sorry that we complained, but it was just a bit of a nuisance, I think. Oh well, we're not stay long enough. Because I did plan to go live until 11. We played Police Simulator and see the update into that. But there's nothing really at the moment I want to play. I could go back on the Ghost game. Keep forgetting the full name of it. But it'd be different if I knew that I was going to have to would have stayed on it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I suppose we just stay here for the moment. We see what happens. Because I don't think it's much time because it's nearly just half now. And then it'll be another 30 minutes. So I don't know. I don't think we should because we'll be there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a nuisance of a thing, see, you kind of messed everything up. I had a plan and it fucked it up a bit. So fuck it anyway. That's all I say. Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of infuriated with the game at the moment. Yeah, I think we'll just wait. Yeah, I think we'll wait because I'm gonna just turn it off PS5. So I think I'll just stay here to 11. Just chill into then. Because it probably would crash, and then the other game might crash too, and that'll just probably annoy me to hell and to back. Because that's what would happen. Like it literally would crash. Because it just do it to piss me off, ain't it? Let me see. So yeah, we can just chill, I suppose. For the moment. Oh. But yeah, we'd probably be finished Ghost, whatever you call it, Sniper Ghost. I keep getting the full name of it. But we'll probably be finished that tomorrow. Like, there's only 2 more missions left in it. Should we listen to the bits of Dáil Éireann? Let's do Dáil Éireann tonight. Right. I do we should, because why not? If we give a fuck, we'll get more night. We might as well. Mary Butler. Isn't it great? This is not normal Foley, I know.
For 22,500 people to be able to afford to receive the very good services in nursing homes, in community nursing units, public, private and voluntary. I have to make that sure that budget lasts from the 1st of January to the 31st of December every year. And as a result, when somebody applies for Fair Deal to enter into a nursing home, I can ensure that there's a 4-week turnaround. Now, a lot of the deputies here in the Dáil who are here longer than me can remember a time when that was not the case. And only a few short years ago, when the budget ran out, it took 12 weeks for somebody to access nursing home care. So that's the first point I want to make. I also want to say the government has provided substantial support to the private and voluntary nursing home sector over the pandemic, with over €145 million in funding delivered through the Temporary Assistance Payment Scheme known as TAPS, as well as other support directly delivered through the HSE, including serial testing, the provision of PPE, and the deployment of expert response teams.
Very nice.
The TAPS COVID-19 outbreak assistance has been extended to the end of this year, and from the 1st of April 2020 to the 31st of October 2022, the provision of free PPE and oxygen continued at a cost of €70 million to private nursing homes and €2.5 million to voluntary nursing homes. And that's not really in the public domain, and it needs to be acknowledged.
But where are they going with all this PPE? First of all, why the fuck do they need something like 2.something million for PPE?
Additional funding for the NTPF Fair Deal.
It seems like they're being scammed. Not gonna lie to you.
Services and manage inflationary increases.
Yeah, it seems like they're being scammed. But again, as I say, it's a few backroom deals. A few people they know. A bit of a nudge for them in the pocket and things like that. Isn't it great?
Voluntary nursing homes as negotiated. I've also recently put in place a new scheme which is called TIPS. This scheme, which has recently been open to applications, is a new 10 million scheme that has been established to support private and voluntary nursing homes with increases in energy costs. It covers 75% of the year-on-year cost increases in energy and heating. I backdated it to the 1st of July of this year, and nursing homes can all claim €31,500 each up to the end of December. And I would expect that I will be extending that scheme into January.
But certainly like to think that the nursing home operators and providers, that they do acknowledge the support that they have received to date. But I think it's very much a case that the nub of this issue is money, and we have to acknowledge that numerous costs being absorbed by private nursing homes are not applicable to the same public facilities, and these include, for example, capital costs, commercial rates, insurance, education and training. The Fair Deal scheme, I agree, has been a lifeline for families, and new minister has to be credited for your work early in the lifetime of this government in terms of bringing to fruition the 3-year cap on assets and specifically family farms and family businesses. At the heart of the Fair Deal scheme is the weekly payment from the HSE to the public and private nursing homes, and it's paid on a per patient rate. 5 years ago, for example, the HSE were paying the publicly ran and funded St. Joseph's in Longford €1,912 per week, whilst Laura Lodge, a short distance down the road, and one of the aforementioned 5 private nursing homes was receiving just €930 per week. That's a difference of €982 per week. Five years on, the payments are increasing nominally, but alas, the gap in what's paid to the private and publicly ran homes has increased significantly.
Don't know where they're getting
Now,
all that
the
money from.
public nursing home is getting just over 2,000, while Laura Lodge remains over 100% off that at just over €1,000 a week. Minister, private nursing home operators are worried and genuinely concerned. Staff are stressed and anxious, but most worryingly, the fallout from this is having consequences for the many families who are desperately trying to ensure the best possible care for the relatives in their twilight years. Minister, I cannot comprehend the difference in the payments being paid to the public and private nursing homes. I understand and expect that, the HSE and indeed your own office will tell me that additional services are being provided in public nursing homes, but I am not convinced as I see no discernible difference in the level of care provided. Minister, as a matter of urgency, we have to review how we fund our private nursing homes.
Thank you, Deputy, for raising this issue again.
What's happening?
So just to say in relation to the funding of the private nursing homes, so last year my budget was 1.4 billion and the private nursing homes received 1 billion of that 1.4, supporting 18,000 people, whereas the HSE supports 4,500 people under Fair Deal. I also think, it should be appreciated that residents in HSE run community nursing units, community hospitals, which are often staffed at a level that allows the delivery of more complex care where required, represent less than 20% of the Fair Deal scheme. And Deputy, you're saying you haven't seen the evidence. Well, today, for example, I was out in Cherry Orchard Hospital, and the Cherry Orchard Hospital, I'm just picking one, the most recent one I was in, and it currently provides residential care for 113 residents, both male and female.
Aye, that's true, yeah. What's the bullshit about? But the one thing I say to Mary Butler, she's talking about residential nursing. They met the health ward of Cherry Orchard Hospital for the young people, young adolescents. Half of that's closed and that's under her. So, maybe talk about that maybe too. But no, look the other way. Pretend it's not there. These are the,
Many of whom have postgraduate qualifications and a registered advanced nurse practitioner in older persons with a specialist interest in behavioural therapy. But also there was consultant physician in care of the elderly available, medical officers, pharmacists, occupational therapy, physiotherapy. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is we're not comparing like with like across all the nursing homes. They vary. The nursing home sector is very fragmented. 15 companies own 10,700 nursing homes in Ireland. But I'm very conscious of the small, voluntary, rural nursing homes, family run, that are in trouble. And I would like to take this opportunity to assure the sector that I am taking the matter very seriously. I'm engaging with my officials as a matter of urgency to appropriately address the challenges that the sector faces. At the same time, all the nursing homes will have to manage their financial challenges. I have to manage mine as well, but I'm acutely aware of the challenges at the moment.
Now moving on to the next topic, which is topical 3. It's in the name of 3 deputies, Michael Ring, Michael Fitzmaurice, and
Michael Wing, the former minister over the
Tidy
Tidy
and concerns within Inland Fisheries Ireland.
Oh, in officials.
Dr. Michael Ring.
Thank you very much, Gabriela, and thank you for selecting this on the Ireland debate tonight. Earlier this year, I raised this issue with the Minister, and since then, a file has been given to both the Minister,
Hello, Gwynna Pitch. It's good to rise to see you. What's on your hoodie?
There's very serious allegations made
Have a
in
guess.
that file.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Who has worked for that
The wisest of top. How are you?
for many, many years, his father before him,
Who?
and his family.
Oh,
had great
Michael
service
Wing, yeah.
to this date. And he was accused of using a tractor. He was suspended
What?
from the company and was then further cleared after that. Even though the CEO himself used machinery to bring
Oh,
his
thank you.
from Galway to
Thank you on the
Donegal,
roads. Be careful on the roads now. It's quite
and nothing
it's quite
happened to him.
slippy. I'm showing you.
Tonight,
Just be careful.
I'm calling on the Minister
It's the right thing. As long as it's not driving, we wouldn't want to drive in it. Because it is very, very sleepy. Oh, Eamon Ryan, I do ask Eamon Ryan now. I was out just replying. Listen to these. But yeah, thank you for stopping saying that.
To this department, and I want an independent investigation.
Oh, yes, for everybody wants things, but you know.
And not from someone within the department, somebody away from the department. Bring in a barrister, bring in somebody to do an independent review on this. Because what has happened this family is outrageous. What has happened, this decent family that get great service to this date. Now, I'm asking the minister tonight.
Good after evening. What? Good after evening. Are you on drink, Tony?
Two laws in this country, one for the working man and one for CEOs of state agency. I call them my two colleagues to come in on this.
I won't be long.
Where you going
First of all, thanks for taking this.
I'm giving. I'm putting. My daughter, please.
Also, there is clear messages, and the people that have
Microphone
given us the
smells,
evidence, there is clear messages from the top to the middle to the bottom of
To the
what
middle,
went on
the middle.
and transcripts. Ye have all them in your possession.
Ye.
There is allegations made against the people at the bottom. But I'll tell you one thing, Minister. The one thing ye should do is appoint a retired High Court judge, an independent person, to look at this. Because from everything we
It was good to see you, Gwillipe.
stinks from the high heavens. Thank you.
Thank you, Laskin Corla, and I do want to add my voice to the concerns that have been raised here, Minister.
Who's Kenny? Oh, out of South Park. Is that who you're talking about? Kenny was always down in South Park.
The outgoing government. I am truly shocked at what is going on at the moment, and the evidence I have seen is also very disturbing. What I would say to you is that this inland fisheries and all of our inland fishing is for the benefit of people on the ground and for local angling clubs. And what I'm beginning to see here is that there is something going
Ah,
on.
it is, yeah.
something
I was on the
happening.
road there earlier on. When I left at 6 o'clock, I was on the road to 8:30 until nearly I came back. So. No, shut up. Shut up, Tom. Shut up.
The minister to actually take this and
Shut
to
up.
do that as a matter of urgency. There's no point in leaving it for internal investigations because there's
I was going to comment on what I'm looking at the moment.
Deputy Leader said,
But I think I probably shouldn't say anything. I think it's one of those things where I have to wait and sometimes it's better to say nothing and let
yes, we see evidence
things run its course. No, well I'm just looking at the moment
I
now.
think it's important to investigate
Because there was just probably wows over if I say
very
anything.
disturbing right now.
But I did retweet it on Twitter now.
Robert, Laskin Corla, and thank you very much, Deputies Ring and Fitzmaurice and Kenny. So, I welcome the opportunity to once again tell out the factual position in relation to these matters. I can advise that a number of protected disclosures, mostly anonymous, have been made in relation to Inland Fisheries Ireland, IFI, to the Department and to...
Oh, you know what they call Richard, for what they call him, the Dublin TD, Fine Gael TD, what they call him, Richard, what they call him, Richard thing, what they call him. Can't think of his name. I know him to see.
of the disclosures
His family's from
has not been
Cavan.
established at
Neil
this stage,
Richmond, yeah,
and
Richmond. I
so
couldn't think of his
remain in
Neil
the
Richmond, yes.
outcome of the
He's blocked
examination
6,000
of
people
the
on Twitter.
protected disclosure policies. I'm advised by IFI that allocations of serious wrongdoing made in the original anonymous disclosure earlier this year against a senior member of
How many
IFI
people have
staff
I blocked in my
has been the
time?
subject of a separate independent
Twitter.
internal investigation in IFI. which
I think
was
only
led
blocked about 5 or
While
6
this
people at most.
investigation was in process, the relevant
A lot of people
staff
have me
was
blocked for
suspended,
this.
and following the conclusion of the
Even some
investigation,
TDs and stuff
that
have me
staff
blocked.
member now has
Not
been
TDs,
dismissed.
senators.
I should also advise
No,
that
no, what?
matters examined as part of this investigation are now under investigation by An Garda Síochána. And in that context, it would not be appropriate to comment further on this particular matter. And in addition, evidence of attempts to place pressure on and alleged intimidation of IFI personnel during the course of and subsequent to the investigation referred to above have also been referred to An Garda Síochána for investigation.
An Garda
And some of
Síochána.
the matters alleged in subsequent disclosures that were raised in Shannon Erin on the 5th of May last, and the assertions were the subject then of inaccurate media reports relating to IFI.
It's
These
Maya.
reports suggested significant irregularities
What about it?
had been identified in the organisation. It should be noted that the original disclosure
What you mean? This is outrageous. This is conspiracy theory.
The assertions raised on the 5th of May were fully addressed on a number of occasions in both houses, setting out the detailed factual position in relation to same. The factors of these particular issues have been previously considered and addressed through inter alia, the then chair's statutory statement of internal control, through external audit reviews, a through correspondence between IFI and my department and IFI board's own assessment of these matters, which my department has accepted. The Chair's statement on behalf of the board indicates that issues identified have been addressed and that IFI assets are being appropriately managed and that other allegations can be fully refuted by IFI. I want to reiterate that I and my department have fully accepted the assurances of the board in this regard. Now, separately, Minister Ryan appointed Mr.
I will say something on this. I'm not going to say too much on it, but I feel like I'm obligated to say something. There's a certain newspaper going around at the moment, and it is published basically pictures of people who basically who could have died by the vaccine. I would say that. And there is an incident in Cavan where one of the pictures are somebody that committed suicide, a young child. I will say that, and I honestly think, and I will say this, that picture should be removed from the print of the newspaper. And that's all I'm saying, because it is gravely wrong, and obviously it is upsetting the mother. Who's not happy with it? Like,
last year, the department had to write out to me after, because I made allegations that there was vehicles that were not insured in Donegal, and that the record of the Dáil should actually be corrected, because they did write to me to tell me that I was quite correct, that some vehicles were not insured at the time. So you can't believe anything now that's coming out from that board, and that's why an independent inquiry immediately needs to be held in relation to this. An innocent man, a family man, a man that gives loyal service to the IFI, and somebody that comes in and just checks, because his brother was probably chairman of the board, and whatever differences happened, this is wrong. This has to be dealt with. There's been an injustice done here, and that injustice...
there's loads of injustices.
And Minister, I will not be letting it go. I will be back here.
Yeah, a lot of people fucking dying and being killed. But no, but I just will say then what I just said there a second ago about the Southern newspaper. I'm not going to say this, but I will say, and I do plead with the people who have the newspaper to please, if it does get around to them, to please, to remove that image. That's all I ask. What the fuck? Everybody's giving out fuck about things.
And second of all, you've said how...
Jeez, they're getting fucking failways over whatever.
Come in or whatever. On the files, the people that send files or give the files sign their names to them. This isn't hidden. This is out from the open.
Murders every day, yeah, exactly. People being stabbed and shot and everything.
This isn't wonder stuff that you have to investigate morning, noon and night. It is there in black and white, and it needs someone from outside. And if someone from outside doesn't go in, that's totally independent, and I would say to you, Minister, you should get someone like a retired High Court judge to go through it from top to bottom and make sure that this is thoroughly investigated.
I just want to add my voice, Minister, and I think we're coming from three different constituencies even to bring this to you. And I think there's a lot of...
Yeah, some of them do, but some of them don't. Yeah, but the vast majority do have some kind of involvement.
And it has not been investigated properly. It has not been investigated externally. The review that was done on the board was not what needs to be done here. There are actions that have been taken. There are allegations that have been made. There have been allegations that have been made that have not been refuted, including the vehicles that weren't insured, etc., etc. But if we continue to kind of brush this over, we're actually going to end up in a situation where IFI and inland fisheries and the angling club will be the victims of all of this. We need to get this right.
Thank you, that's Count Corda. And deputies, I do acknowledge the strength of feeling from all three of you, and that you're from different constituencies, and that you mean what you say. But I should be very clear that the process is by no means over. That there are a number of Garda investigations, and that the latest protected disclosures, which were mostly anonymously made in relation to IFI, are still being examined, and that the department does have to follow due process. There's a set of laws that have to be complied with, and all the allegations have to be fully examined. There is a protected disclosure policy that the department has, and there's an equivalent protected disclosure policy in IFI, and they have to be respected. I also want to say again that the veracity of the disclosures has not been established yet at this stage, pending the outcome of the examinations of these protected disclosures, and the persons against whom unverified disclosures have been made are entitled to fairness and due process. process. And as you know, there
What's
is
happening here?
presumption of innocence in this country.
Woman
We expect to
dies
receive that
following
presumption
stabbing in the
through
leash. Yeah, you think you
and
said that a
regarding
second ago,
the,
Sean?
appointment
Leash.
of an external person to carry out an investigation. Minister Ryan did appoint a barrister, Mr. Conlon Bradley, a senior counsel, to carry out a review, of the board. So he appointed somebody externally, and that's an appointment by the minister from outside of that agency to carry out a review of the execution and the functions of the board. So the process of examination, the process of investigation, is by no means over.
I know. Yeah, just I didn't know that.
Compliance with the law.
Let's see what
It
she's
has to be
talking
carried
about.
out according to due process, and the Garda investigations have to be allowed to take their course without me making comments that would prejudice them or interfere with them in any way. Thank you.
And Martin, now moving on to topical issue number 4. It's up to her.
Knock out.
Gormaiga Laskin Corla, and can I thank you and the Clan Corla for selecting this topical issue. The 28th of December will mark the 50th anniversary of the bombings at Belturbet in County Cavan, Clonus in County Monaghan and Pettigo in County Donegal. The 3 bombs exploded within 49 minutes of each other. It's widely believed that the UVF, in conjunction with British state agents, were responsible for the attack. No one has ever been held to account. For many years, the response of this state to the bombings was silence. But thanks to the efforts of families, local communities, and the organisation Justice for the Forgotten, a focus of sorts has been put on these instances, and in October of this year, Gardaí issued a renewed appeal for information, which I welcome. There were 2 victims of the Belturbet bombing. 16-year-old Patrick Stanley from Clara in County Offaly, who was survived by his parents, Teresa and Joe, now both deceased, and 9 siblings. And 15-year-old Geraldine O'Reilly.
Well, how did she have it? How did he have it?
Stag Hall in Belturbet.
Like, you must have bought it. Like, how did that just come up to and done it? Because I'm sure you have a legal obligation then to go into the court over it.
The official record states.
Because how did that just come? I was told that. But how did you know? But how did they do it? I suppose did they do it in school or what? Because I'm sure they couldn't allow to do it.
The full story.
Like, I'm sure you can look into that, get a lawyer,
Paddy
and
McCabe was one of those who
I don't know the law, but yeah, I know about the Kildare crash. But I'm sure you'd be allowed to prosecute or put him up the court for it.
that was damaged by the bomb when he had a fall.
But they wanted me to take a PCR test,
The Clonus bombing
and I
was
just didn't go.
directly
Was it with that?
related to his death,
Didn't go.
although he has never been recognised as a victim of the bombing. But the impact on his family was as profound as any of that.
But as I said, I'd never take a PCR test on that.
Paddy left behind his beloved wife Vera to be the sole carer for their 8 children, then aged from 2 to 14. They lost their husband and father, and their lives would never be the same. It was
Sorry, I'm just listening to this a bit too, because this is about Calvin.
But because he was never recognised as such, the family were denied supports and resources that might otherwise have been made available. Laskin Corla, I recently had the opportunity, alongside Councillor Pat Traynor and the Cathaoirleach of Monaghan County Council, Sean Conlon, to meet with some of Paddy McCabe's now grown-up children, and they had 2 requests. One, that they be informed of all developments in the Garda investigation into the
Yeah, the thing I say about the Clonus and Belturbet bombing, like the guards know, they know who done it.
into the case.
It's just the fact of getting the evidence.
My correspondence
Like
with
they have an
Garda
idea
and informed that the Garda have
who,
been assigned as a
who
liaison
has done it.
for the family.
They do know in the
Secondly,
PS9 the
Laskin
British
Corla,
government know.
They sought long denied
Everybody
recognition
knows who did
that
it.
their
If they know the
loss
answer.
of their
Well, not
father
everyone, not
was
the
a
only cat in the
consequence
street.
of
But,
the Clonus bombing. And that is why
No,
I
no.
welcome the opportunity to record the name of Paddy McCabe into the record of the Dáil tonight. As a
But yeah,
victim
no. But I'm
of
just
the
saying,
Clonus
Tony.
bombing.
How did you
And
get
I
your
ask
like?
the
You're
Minister
saying
to
without your
join me in
consent?
extending,
You know,
condolences
they done the thing.
to
How
the
did they
family
like? Did they do it at school or what did they do? I'm just curious because unless they care, like I'm sure you would have had an idea they were doing it. Because the only way they could have done it was if he was at school. Be totally honest. Like, they couldn't have just went into your house at 9 o'clock in the morning and done it. That makes any sense. I just want to hear this.
Almost 50 years ago,
50 years, what?
Belturbet, Clonus and Pettigo. In Belturbet, this callous act of violence claimed the lives of 2 innocent young people, Geraldine O'Reilly and Patrick Stanley, and injured others. My deepest sympathies go out to the bereaved and to the injured. The dreadful effects of this attack last to this day.
Oh, you mean actually, yeah.
The suffering of those who have lost what was most precious to them goes on. that the perpetrators of this atrocity have never been held accountable for their
But I will say, Tony, I don't know much about
sense of law.
law and things and in
The
terms of
deputy
that.
will be aware
Virtue consent. I don't know the
of
legislation and
motives
things like that.
for
But I'd say look into it. I would ask a lawyer
investigating
about it.
Síochána
Because if it is the school or something, I'm sure you can bring them up to court for it.
to justice.
Or get something done about it.
Because
Because I'm sure, unless your daughter consented to it, unless she consented to it. Which again, I don't know much about it to be told of the law when it comes to that. Tracy O'Mahony might have done a video on it. And Jill, I think she talked a little bit about different things. But I would look into it if I was you. And we get some. I can't give you legal advice or anything, but I'd think about it basically. Yes.
While almost 50 years has passed, hope remains for victims and their families that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. I can assure the deputy that the appalling events of that day are very much in our thoughts, and engagement will continue with the Garda Commissioner in relation to progress in this investigation. An Garda Síochána issued an appeal on the 18th of October for anyone with information in relation to the bombing to make contact. Today, I make the same plea for anybody with any information that may be relevant to this case to bring it to the attention of the Garda authorities to aid their investigation. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, he responded to me for Gavin, James Brown.
Thank you, Minister, and I thank you for that update in respect of the investigation. And I would ask in the first instance if you would give an assurance on the part of the department that you will endeavour to provide the families of the victims, the two victims that you mentioned, Geraldine O'Reilly and Patrick Stanley, and also Paddy McCabe, as I have outlined, that they will be kept consistently updated in terms of any progress within that.
But I will say, I do think it's the British government that they're holding back. I do think it was British agents that had stuff, and I do think the British government want that on their hands, basically. And I don't think they haven't been most cooperative, the British government towards it.
Pedigo and many other places, the victims of bombings that, as I say, were long forgotten, and it was that organisation alongside the families themselves and local communities that ensured that these.
But imagine somebody planted that bomb about Belturbet was that 50 years ago, and they killed two innocent young children, teenagers. I don't know how they could live with themselves. They'll be totally honest. How could they live with themselves? Hello, Aaron. But it just go. I don't know how they could live with themselves. How could they live day in day out? Because I'm assuming they're still alive. The people who've done it. And how could they live with themselves doing it? I often wonder how some people just don't have a heart.
When the bomb went off, they were just as much victims of that bombing, particularly Paddy McCabe.
Not too bad, Aaron. Sorry,
that you would endeavour through yourself and the minister to ensure that your department finds a mechanism to allow those to be part of investigations, commemorative events, and any other actions that are undertaken.
Thank you, Oscar and Cora. I'll certainly endeavour to ensure that the Department of Justice keeps the families up to date of any developments that I would expect to happen, and I would expect that An Garda Síochána would likewise do so. And as you said it yourself, the Garda liaison officer has now been appointed. Of course, we think of all of those who lost their lives in the immediate events of all of these bombings, and where people were murdered and viciously injured as well, and many who didn't maybe die in the immediate event but went on to suffer very serious consequences and may have had their lives foreshortened as well. The announcement by An Garda Síochána in October that a number of lines of inquiry have been identified with regard to the Belturbet bombing, and that the senior investigating officer has been appointed to lead the investigation, I think shows the commitment of the Garda authorities to these legacy cases. Despite the length of time, we haven't forgotten, and the Garda Síochána will continue to investigate.
Well, I do hope someday, I hope in my lifetime they catch somebody to get somebody for the Belturbet bombing. Please God to do something.
Hope can
in my lifetime
for those families that the perpetrators can be brought to justice. The government's approach to legacy and reconciliation has always been that it should be victim-centred, taking the Stormont House Agreement as its starting point. The UK's legacy bill, which is seeking to introduce an amnesty for crimes committed during the Troubles, risks severely damaging the process of reconciliation in Northern Ireland. And here, it is my firm view that of this government, and these paths must remain open to victims, survivors and their families. Finally, I again call on anybody with any information that may be relevant to this case to bring it to attention to the Garda Síochána to aid their investigation. Thank you.
Includes topicals as Shinjar.
I get it, I get what you're saying.
And Law New Condor, Ashro, Guji, Shinomet Konami, Majinamon, Nilman.
Don Evans gone. They're off home. Enough. Enough of us tonight. Anyway. I won't stay too long, I know. Too much longer. I know. So what are we taking? We'll probably go now in a second or two, I know, because it is the other time. Because again, the game crashed. I tried to play Police Simulator, the game crashed multiple times. That's why we're here at the moment. If that makes any sense. Probably does, probably doesn't. But yeah. Yeah, so we'll probably go into 11 now. So the Dáil and Shannon, they're back tomorrow. Leo's been sworn in on what day? It's Taoiseach. Saturday, was it? Yeah, Saturday. Saturday or Sunday now. So we listen to that maybe and see what's the story. We can give a fuck about it. Anywho. We'll try again, my phone. Oh no, I tried 3 times, that's the thing, Tony. I didn't try once, I tried 3 times. It's not gonna, it's just gonna keep crashing. It'll be just me running around as a headless, if that makes any sense. And it wouldn't be much point. Because it'd be only 20 minutes and I'd be having to start the live stream would crash and then have to start again. So, you know, we wait until tomorrow and we see. That's why I'm staying here until 11, because my plan originally was to play the game from 10 to 11. And we were live early on too. We were live nearly an hour early on. Actually, probably more than that. It was an hour, probably in 30 minutes, nearly 2 hours. On Ghost Week. Yeah, we were an hour of that. So we were about 4 hours live, maybe, say, yeah. Grand? What's grand? Which grand? What grand? I'm talking about grand, money grand. Which grand? What grand? And they're all off home. All the Dáil are off home tonight. They're all off home. Actually, so I was to go to the Dáil bar first to get a few grand. Oh, jeez, that'd be handy. A few grand would be handy now. I don't know why you always retract your messages, Tony. We don't answer, but okay. It's not like anybody be reading them right now. Like, apart from when it's live, I don't think anybody would reading them afterwards. You know, nobody would be bothered. I don't think. Not many people watch after the live streams. Like, not much. There's some people that do. I know that does. Because you see them in the analytics that they do watch after it's posted. Oh no, you just retract. You can retract them. You can. But after the analytics, so basically when this goes up, it's basically just a video because it won't be live. There is a few people, there's about 3 or 4 people that do watch a bit of it, like 30 to 30 minutes up and then just like, fuck it, I'm not listening to them anymore. But there's people that does. I know, but I wouldn't worry about it. You know, you're not really saying anything bad or anything. And I wouldn't mind because again, you're not really saying, I live in this address or something like that. That'd be a bit too much now, but I know, but I should know what could they get off you. That's what I'm trying to say. What could they find out? Like, hardly that many people. People more interested in finding that stuff from me than there would be about someone in the post in the chat. Hello, Connor. How are you? You're relaxing with me tonight. That's good. Yeah, well, at least I'm a bit more relaxed than I was earlier on. I don't know what you hear on a live stream. We tried 3 times. The game crashed 3 times on the police simulator. So, not that well. I wasn't relaxed about an hour ago, basically, because it just kept crashing. It was just pissing me off. So that's why I came on here. Yeah. I got a warning yesterday for a message I posted yesterday. I didn't say what stream. I didn't say what stream or the content. What? You got a warning message on my channel? You're talking about me. You're talking about on this channel. Oh, you mean it was age restricted or something like that? Is that what you're saying? Some video. It must have been not mine because I don't think you ever get them warnings. Like you do. There's some like there was a documentary I was watching. One time, what was it about? It was about the Boer Wars in Africa in the beginning of the 19th century. And I got a warning message 3 times that contains mentions of violence, graphic things, and I had to press it 3 times to say I consent to watching it because it's gruesome or something like that. Is that what you mean? It hardly wasn't my channel, but was it? That's all I just want to know. It's hardly wasn't my channel. Like, what would we be talking about? I'll take you, Tony. No, I got no bunch of community guidelines put in. Well, and what? And you mean here? You're talking about here? Oh, you mean on stream? Oh, right. Is that what you're saying? Oh, I see what you're saying. On the stream before. You see, YouTube can... Like, there is bots on YouTube that can detect stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know was it here now. I don't think it was us now. But YouTube does have bots. I will say, but they do have bots. It's the same with videos. The time I got my video taken down once for saying stuff YouTube didn't like. They do have bots that could just listen to what you say, and they can read things too in the comment in the description and stuff like that. And they can flag it down and they can take it down and things like that. Oh yeah, well I should be gone by now if that was it. No, I think it was just because you said something that they didn't like, in terms of that. In terms of what you just said there and above. So that's probably why. Because they do have bots to read through the comments like here and things like that on YouTube and stuff like that. Like not me, I'm talking about YouTube. Like because again, YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar company. They have bots. They couldn't have people to go through every live stream. Like that's what they do. They have bots to go through it, and they flag things. And that's why it always says at the beginning of the streams be respectful and stuff like that, because they do be looking, as far as I know. Because again, it's all bots. YouTube's really all bots already. It's bots flagging your video. That time my video got taken down. It wasn't by manual. It was a bot that took it down. But I didn't argue against it, I just accepted the warning I got. I didn't get a community guideline strike on that, but I just accepted the warning. Because I don't think I was going to win regardless of what I did. But yeah. On the probably so. Yeah, they probably reported it. That's a different kettle fish. Yeah, you probably should take it there. You probably should just take that, and just in case they are looking. In terms of the bots, as I say, it's bots that go around the streams and weed through the thing. Because again, the stream does process. Just because they do process it. The stream processes overnight, and the bots might through that process, and they might be looking at it. The bots basically, and they just flag it. Things like that. Because basically there's nothing really I can do because it's YouTube basically. Like it's the same with comments going missing. Oftentimes people comment on my channel, and the comments I click on the comments and they're not there, and they're nowhere to be found. They're not in my spam folder. They're not anywhere to be found. They just disappeared. Like the bots, I think, catches what they say. If they say something they don't agree with, and they just dump it down the memory hole, and it's nowhere. I can't get it though. Nobody can get it. It's not like they're watching like right now. I'm talking about when the process. Hello, Shawnee. But it's when it processes. Tonight because when it goes up, it'll be processed. Things that so. But yeah, we did. I did. I think all YouTube creators got an email this CEO about to uphold the community guidelines. At the beginning of the year, I think we did to ban anything that's or to report things that or to get rid of it not having it in the chat and things like that. So basically too, it's kind of pushes on the only people and things like that to do it too. But as I say, it's really up to YouTube if they do anything. Like very rarely, again, as I said in the other stream, we do much about things. Very rarely we do it when it's necessary. Hope you're doing well, Shawnee. I was just talking about something there, and I didn't want to interrupt myself in case I forgot where I was. Which could happen, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. What? What are you talking about? I think you're on drugs. Do you know there's actually somebody selling pictures to tops of Leo Frack and me whole mountain? I was tempted now to buy it. Like, they just pissed us off. I just come on with me whole mountain shoved. Like, it literally says me whole mountain. Me whole mountain. And a big, like, right across his face, like, me whole mountain. I should go up to the Fianna Fáil headquarters and be like, other people in the, don't know what they got, not the youth wing of Fianna Fáil to keep asking me would I join Fianna Fáil. Go up to them with that. Actually, give it to them as a present. It'd be good fun. I think it did say Leo with the link on the other one. And then there was one with no Leo. I think, there was one with nothing on it. With just basically Leo's face and things like that. Well, so I think the other one said Leo with the link. Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, it was €25 for that. But yeah, someday I might do it just as a laugh. Go around and celebrate me whole mountain. Me whole mountain. Mickey Mountain. Mickey Mountain. I don't think they mind political talk. I give out about Mickey Mountain. Okay. I do think they mind because you see me whole mountain. What's to stop people from like basically he kind of said it. Did he wants them? He what basically what the way I took it up. He wants people to stop filming politicians in public and stuff like that. Like I think they will bring in legislation to stop you do that. Like the way I could go up now to me whole mountain in the morning. I'm asking a question because again I pay his wages. The same as you and everybody who pays his wages. I can go up and ask him a question. I'm a taxpaying citizen. I can go up and particularly again I can go up and record him with my phone and ask him the question on a live stream on a video. And I don't think they like that because they're put on the spot and everybody's looking at them, and it's not the mainstream media, and it's not like everything's written down for them, and they can have a sheet there to reply to you, because they have to kind of make up something in their head when they get jumped on the street by a citizen asking questions. Yeah, I know he wants this basically to control what you say. Basically, but like I remember when the council workers, it was down in Cork, Simon Coveney and Simon Howes was down at something, and the council workers, at the moment they want the Irish units at the council, so every county council has a water service, like Cavan County Council has a Monaghan County Council, and there's people employed there under the council to deal with the water. But they want to get rid of that, to get rid of the council in the water service, and to give it to Irish Water. Basically, Irish Water would have total control over it, and they were protesting. And basically they were going up to Simon Howes, where Simon Howes and Simon Coveney was. And I never seen the look of terror on Simon Howes' face in my life. Like literally the look of Howes, and just ran away. The two of them just ran away. So they don't like people just randomly turning up out of the blue to ask them very tough questions, and they just run away. Like I didn't see OT report that they just ran away from the people who wanted to ask them questions. And the mainstream media there and all that OT and asking there with the cameras and things that never bothered to. This should be like running away from people that are probably going to lose their job, and they just don't give a shit and just ran away. I talked about it in my video, yeah. Like as to Taoiseach, so obviously you do expect to be filmed going on the street or going anywhere. Because again, you're the Taoiseach, the Deputy Prime Minister basically of the country. And you're the former Prime Minister of the country too. So people, your face is very known. So, and obviously you're in the bar, like in the nightclub, he was in the nightclub at the time. Like it wasn't like the person that was filming him went into his house, into his bedroom and filmed him, take for example. Obviously that would be against the law because obviously that's breaking an entry also and trespassing. And obviously that's against the law. But he was in a public place in a nightclub where there's members of the public around. It's not a private nightclub or something like that. It's members of the public around. In fairness to Leo, if he didn't want to be filmed or videoed or things like that, he could have went to a private nightclub which he had to pay for and stuff like that, and partied away there if he wanted to. But he went to a public nightclub and he was in the public area, based in the public area where public people can go in and dance or take a drink or film or whatever they want to live stream or whatever. So I know people say data protection and privacy and things like that, but in the grand scheme of things, in the terms of the law, you're basically justified because you're in a building that other people are going into. It's not a private building. Like you can't go in the morning, take for example to Cavan County Council's office, the courthouse, with a camera or things like that. You can't do that. It's simply not allowed to go into the offices and things like that. Staff going around filming everything, council staff and things, obviously GDPR and things like that. But you can do it to your heart's content outside. They can go around the whole place outside. You can film as much as you want, but you can't go up to the office and things and film staff and film people. Yeah, but you can do it outside. You can go to your heart's content. So, because that's a public area. Upstairs, the offices, the courthouse and things like that, the council offices, the chief executive, things like that. Obviously, they're private areas. They're private government areas. And obviously, there's sensitive information related to the county and things like that. So you get what I'm saying. Like outside in the courthouse, that's a public car park for members of the public to pay to park and things like that. So that you can go to your heart's content to walk around and film as much as you want. But it's when you go into the doors, obviously it's a government building, it's a courthouse, there's court cases going on. You can't just go in and film. That's why you don't see many. you don't see it being filmed. It should have been filmed during the pandemic. It was kind of like a secret courts and stuff like that. It wasn't being reported on. People weren't allowed to go and report on and things like that, and it wasn't being filmed. And basic justice was done without the public there, which is obviously wrong. But now it's a bit different now. But yeah, being in position as teacher is different than only Chidi or something like that. Give for example Matt Carty or something like that wanders into a Dublin nightclub or something like that. Just using Matt Carty as an example. Not many people would know Matt Carty. Maybe in Cavan Molyneux I would know him straight away if I seen him. I could tell him from a mile away. I know them all, like the politicians, Cavan, all the TDs and councillors in Cavan. I know them by looking, like I know them from a mile away. Basically, I can see them a mile away. Like I seen one of them last. Seen Patricia Walsh there the other day, and I seen her from a mile away basically. Like later I was on the other side of the town and I seen her. Like I was looking down the town and I seen her come out of the shop. So I was able to see her because I have them ingrained into my mind who they are and things like that. So I know can tell. But for example, just say Matt Carty does go into a nightclub in Dublin. People internally wouldn't really know him. I would know him if he walked in, but people in the nightclub were like, "Who's this?" They wouldn't know exactly. But something like the Healy-Rays, to say Michael Healy-Way going in with the pinky cap, you would know. But Leo, as I say, he's the former Taoiseach. It's a face that you have seen on the news, on social media, things that, he should have expected that people would film him or take pictures and stuff like that. Because, people nowadays, as soon as they see somebody, anybody, a famous person like that, straight away, they take out the phone, they lift up the phone and take a picture, send it to the friends, take a video, put it on Snapchat and stuff like that. That's the internet nowadays. Years ago, it wasn't that. People might stand and stare, but nowadays it's always get the phone out, take a picture, take a video. That's the age now. It's the same with I don't know, Leonardo DiCaprio came to Dublin. Everybody, if you walk down a Connor Street, everybody would be taking pictures and Snapchat and doing stories and taking selfies and getting pictures from sign, getting things to sign. You expect that when you're a public figure and you're a celebrity. Well, I'm not saying Leo's a celebrity, but you know what I'm saying. Being obviously the Taoiseach of a country and being Prime Minister, obviously people would know you basically, and people would want to get you in a snap or something like that, or things like that. If everybody went, no one thought he went to a nightclub, everybody would cry. Like everybody would just leave. Everybody would just leave. Like it literally make everybody cry. Like she does that when she goes into school, everybody just cries. Have you seen that community post I put up of the woman literally in horror and her speaking to her? Like literally the face of her, like you can see the horror in her face. Like, this is the devil in front of me, like quite literally. And everybody just there looking at it in horror too, like no before he walks in. Like, nobody. And then when the teachers' unions were having their conference down the country, everybody literally was in horror looking at number 40. Was, the news was more like the devil herself. So, but you know yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, Leo should have kind of knew the people would have fitted him. It's the same when he's going for one along the canal. I think somebody shouted abuse on one side. Obviously, you shouldn't shout abuse at somebody, obviously, and threaten them and things like that. That's what happened at one stage. You shouldn't do that to anybody, first of all, because there's laws against that. But he's out in the public area along the quays. He can be filmed to his heart's content. There's nothing to stop him, really. It's just when if he's in government buildings, like take example, he's in government buildings, or in the back areas of the Dáil, take example. Obviously, the Dáil chamber can be filmed, obviously, because it's film things. But in his office, take for example, somebody can't just barge in and film him, because obviously there's sensitive information relating to the government. Obviously Leo, sensitive information. I know people could say he didn't think about that before, but anyway, again, you know what I'm saying. You can't just barge in and film somebody in their office and things like that, because obviously GDPR and it is against the law. Because again, there's people in the UK and Ireland who does this. They go into the foot of Garda stations, right? They film around Garda stations, right? And in England and America, they film around the foot of Garda stations and stuff like that. Obviously, they film around the reception or stuff like that. You can film in the reception of the Garda's barracks, but you can't obviously go behind into interview rooms and stuff like that to film and stuff like that. If you look it up on YouTube, there's YouTubers to do it. Even in Ireland, there's a YouTuber that went to Irish Town Garda Station in Dublin, and Fingers Garda Station and things like that. And they filmed around the car park, and the guards will come out and ask them what they're doing. Like I could show you, I can actually get a video and show you. But basically, in the car park, they are in a public area. Yeah, it's in a public area in the car park of a Garda station. But obviously, they can't go into the back of the Garda station with there's gates and stuff, because obviously that's trespassing. But at the foot of the Garda station, say for example the Garda station in Cavan Town, for example, you can go into the foot drop and the main the office that to be in when you walk in the doors. I don't know what you call the main area of the barracks. The main area of the barracks. You can't go in behind it, obviously, unless you go through the doors. But that's technically a public area. Obviously, behind it's not public. But you can film to your heart's content. Where the guards might come and ask you. But again, you don't really have to, because they have to reasonably suspect you of committing a crime to ask you what you're doing and why and what things like that. I can show you a video of it. Just it's but you obviously can't go into an interview room, Sean, and just start filming an interview room when somebody's being interviewed for murder. You can't just do that. Or somebody, God forbid, had their house broken into and taking a statement. The guards are taking a statement, and then somebody comes barging in with a video camera, and a woman crying her whole jewelry's gone and everything like that. And somebody comes in and start putting on Instagram story that this and start, oh God, this woman's that. You can't do that. But yeah, it is fair game when you put. Same with if I'm in the public area too. I don't mind if somebody films me like that, but people have filmed me. I remember some people have filmed me when I'm up out and about. That's okay. I don't mind that. I remember a few times I was down in some areas and they were filming me, but mainly because they don't really like the council, they don't like authority and things like that. That's the main thing. And obviously, the same as I go around with a body camera too. It's just basically, it's not that I want to be nosed into that. It's just for my own safety, and just God forbid, in case something happened in front of me, an accident or something like that. So I'd be able to say, look, this is what happened. Here's the evidence. X, Y, and Z. As I say, it's just to basically say, if anything ever happened, here's the evidence. Here's all that's happened. So at least nobody could say, this happened and it didn't happen. And that's as I say, nobody ever told me. Obviously, you're told, when you go into, I was brought in a few times in the Kets office, and when I'm wearing it, you're not allowed to, I'm not allowed to have it on in the council offices and stuff like that, because obviously it's information that's there, and obviously I'm not allowed, but you can, obviously outside you're allowed. But I turn it off when I go into a public building, because obviously it's a public building. It's behind, I'm talking about behind into the offices and stuff like that. Yeah, but I can show you videos. You can film, yes. Yeah, behind the doors, like into the war confinement and behind the gates, something like that. But the front, as I say, in the front of the guard station, the camera, if anybody knows, like the front of it, you can film to your heart's content. But you can't obviously go in and open the gate or something like that. Obviously, that's trespassing. But in the public area, you're allowed to do it. And same with the courthouse, as I said, you can't go into the upstairs of the courthouse and start filming. But you can in the car park, you can go around the whole courthouse and film it to your heart's content. Somebody might come out and ask you what you're doing, but you can just say I'm filming, and that's basically, I don't have to answer to them. You can say you just film the building or something like that, but you don't really have to answer to them, because it isn't the law. But if you went into the building and just barged in and just started filming into offices and looking through people's desks and filming and all that, obviously you're breaking an entry and filming trespassing for so, because that's not for the public area. It's the same with military bases too. You can film outside military bases, but obviously that's a bit more sensitive because of the national security risk and things like that. But I'll show you a video, but I won't show you it all. But there's YouTube videos, there's people that came and done it in Ireland. But yeah, just go back to the point. Sorry, Shawnee, I might have went over the top there. But you are already allowed. This is where is this? Same with the door, you can go around, you can film, well, not because obviously there's gates and stuff, but you can fill them in and stuff like that. You can't walk around obviously because there's guard thing there. I'm trying to get a short one. Come in Garda Station, wherever this is, in Dublin, I'm assuming. So I just show you. But yeah, I'm not going to show you now, but you see, he's outside the Mayor Garda Station in Dublin. Or somewhere like that. Well, you might say you can't fill up with cars and things like that. I don't know the law on that now. It keeps going down. Yeah, he's filling a Garda Station. This is the front of the Garda Station. So you can't go in, you see behind where the gates are. You can't just barge in there, because that's obviously, obviously private vehicles and stuff like that belong to the state, belong to Garda, so you can't trespass.
I've been here for about 10 minutes, no real activity. Might go to the front, check it out. super impatient. It doesn't help with these.
Ah, yeah,
orders.
exactly.
But,
That's nice.
yeah, make of that what you will. One thing I've noticed, almost every Garda station has a public access, a public office, access to the public. Definitely reinforcing the fact that
Oh yeah, I talk about that in a second. I was just about to say something about that too, but I stopped myself a while ago. I will say, I talk in a second because there's a lot to say about it. Just give me 2 seconds, John. Just to say, so you know this is the foot office, you're allowed to go in their office because of this. You like, see, he goes in here. I'm just using it as an example just to show you. Well, obviously this is the foot desk, you're allowed to go in.
I'm just making a video. I thought I'd make you aware. Like the Garda station.
This man just, you're just trying to get a look around the Garda station, is it, or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, can I get a tour or something?
You want to see someone open?
Excuse me?
You want to see someone open?
I don't understand, sorry.
No, I said, you see someone open, we're going to fix the habit here, does that?
Oh, really?
No, I'm only messing with us. Give me a second, I'll see if we can find someone for you.
That would be fantastic, thank you.
Like, he's allowed to film, obviously, this is the public.
What's the narration for?
To be fair, to be honest, it's a YouTube video. It's for a YouTube video.
Okay. And we don't want to ask us, what is the... Should you go around filming other places or...
So yeah, the idea is it's like a civil rights movement. The idea is to film like police stations, or at least in the UK, from public, to kind of engage with the authorities and see if they kind of respect your right to film from public. So, thank you. Thanks.
But if he goes into the door, like, take for example, he just barges into that door, the gal just went out. He's not allowed to go in there. Because obviously this is the front desk, you know, things. But generally speaking, yeah, probably so. I'm just using, I won't show any more of it. I'll just show you, like, there was another example in Irish Town, Garda Station. They were a lot more hostile. Actually, no, I'll show you. Yeah, because I think they let him go in this video. They let him go and see the cells and stuff like that. The gals let because he asked. And the guard was, you know, he was allowed to go in to see the cells and stuff like that. But he wasn't allowed, obviously, to go into the office. But the guards allowed him. Because obviously that guard seemed to be a decent enough guard. That was easy enough going, and it wasn't, you know, wasn't that bad. You know, he would let him. The guard said it was okay because he's satisfied that he wasn't a terrorist or something like that. But the guards opened the door and said, you know, you can go in and film the cells and we'll show you around. Because there was nobody there, so they let him go in and just film it. But that's fair enough. But if he barged in the door, yeah, see what I mean? But this other guards will be just, he's like, give me your name, your address, tell me, you know. But the guard let him in, like in that incident. I'll just show you about Irish Town too. Because in Irish Town we were a bit more, you know, a hostile. If that makes any sense. But that guard seemed to be, the guard just basically said, well, he just asked you what you're filming for, and he was satisfied enough. But yeah, this is the same power, just to say. But Irish Town Garda Station were a bit more hostile. And this went viral. This has about 500,000 views. So,
you can't record it.
like, they were very hostile more here. Like, obviously he was in the car park, he was filming. And obviously the foot of the guards barracks.
That's the Garda station, not the police station.
No, sorry to be using this clip, just to explain basically what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example, and it's to do with Ireland too, because it's obviously in Ireland. And move it on a bit, but he is filming the foot of it, like he's on the football pup. But there's a girl that comes out just absolutely mad in a second. Like, some of them will understand, you know, and some of them won't, like here.
Hello. What are you doing here? I'm just making a video.
Yeah, you can't record a Garda station.
Hello, Fishman.
Is it an offence?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Can you
Sorry.
stop recording?
Why? I thought I could. Can you get your hand off me?
What's that?
Am I required to give my name?
Yes.
I thought you can film from public.
You're committing an offence here.
What
Recording
offence?
a Garda station.
What offence?
Like, just to say before he says that, there's no offence against it. Obviously, if you went into the gate, you see the gate, just to briefly say.
Record a Garda station.
Like, do you see the gate behind him here? If you went in there, that's obviously Garda property. Obviously, that's trespass.
What's this in relation to anyway? It's just a video matter.
And you see straight away out with the
Just
notebook
relax a bit. There was no need to like touch me and stuff. Like we can have.
and touching him and everything. You know.
Would you mind identifying yourself?
Yeah, take my number down there.
What's wrong now? I'm not required to give any names.
Like, he hasn't committed the crime, just to say too, unless the guards expect you of committing the crime, they can ask you for your name. Like, you know, they can ask you what you're doing. Obviously, they're entitled to ask you, you know, what you're doing, and they might inquire more. But, you know, they can't just say, what's your name and your address? Give me your name and address. But, you know, like that guy then, the first thing, he just asked, you know, what are you filming for? And he said YouTube, and he was like, okay, that's fine. I'm happy enough, you know. He gave him address, but you know, like that guy the first done the right thing. He was like, that's fine. He just asked him what he was doing. Well, as I would if I seen somebody film, my house, take for example. You asked them what they're doing, and the guard was happy enough. But he just gets instantly out the notebook and writes it down.
You suspect me of committing an offence? What offence is it?
But there's no offence. So it isn't. It isn't.
I'm not trying to be difficult. I came to the front office and told you what I was doing. We didn't seem to have any issues. He's just come up to me, tried to grab me. I understand you got the Section 24 power, but that's only if I've contravened any other section of the Public Order Act.
Now you can get you the Public Order Act too if you want to.
Do you mind identifying yourself? And your name? There's my number. He was very aggressive, very hostile. No need for that.
And then more comes out. That's the best part. Like, take the notebook out. And this went viral, just to say.
What's this relation anyway, the video? It's just a video for matters of public interest. As I explained at the counter. So what's going to happen now?
I'm not going to show you the whole out because obviously it's long. But obviously, just to say, the gates there. You see the gates in the back. But obviously, if he went in there, because obviously that's guarded property. That's where they have patrol cars and stuff like that. If he went in the gates, and obviously, obviously if the gate's closed, that means you're trespassing, obviously. Because obviously, usually when something's closed, take for example, you have a house gate, you can't just waltz in uninvited, because obviously that means stay out, basically. But if you're in a car park at the foot of the guards' barracks with no gate, you're perfectly entitled to go in and film. Like in the footpath, obviously that's behind the barracks, you can't go in. But that's what he's doing. Like, it'd be different if he went in the gate to the west of the trespassing. Maybe you could say he shouldn't be filming the car or something, but
to film from public.
But he is on. You see the street here, like it's like the street basically here. If you know Irish town, yeah. Like basically he's on the street. I'll show you a bit more. Because then a woman cop comes along. 1 second. If it would show now, 1 second. But like he's on the football, like he's really, really on the football. Like it showed there a second was.
Morning. Hello.
What are you doing?
I'm just making a video.
Yeah, just to say before I say this. So basically, they can ask you what you're doing. Of course, anybody can ask you what you're doing. But they can't just say, give me your name and address because you're doing this, unless you're going in and committing the crime. But, they can ask you what you're doing, they're entitled to ask. But you can say it's just...
The Garda station?
For what purpose?
The matters of public interest?
Public interest for what?
The public interested in videos like this.
For what though? Like, you're recording official. You're not allowed to record official vehicles.
I'm filming from public.
I'm saying to you, you're not allowed to record.
Is there an offence?
Yeah, you're recording Garda vehicle reg numbers coming in and out. Do you know what I mean? There's also codes to the gate there.
It's your job to secure it.
For?
Just making a video.
For what though? Public interest for what?
Okay, not exactly. I understand what you're saying. But I suppose it's kind of just raising awareness that you are allowed to film.
You're recording official vehicles coming in and out of the store.
Like this fellow here, he's a bit of a...
Yeah, it is official. It's official marked.
From here.
From where?
Is it relevant?
I didn't give you permission to record me.
I don't need your permission. I'm filming from public.
You do need your permission to record.
What country are you from?
So it's irrelevant.
No, it is relevant.
Why?
For visa facts.
Do you think that I've entered the country illegally?
Where are you from?
It's not relevant.
It's a question.
Okay, and I've answered the question.
What's your answer?
I don't believe I'm entitled to answer. I don't think it's relevant to what I'm doing.
Public place and you're being asked a question.
Okay. Am I required by law to answer the question? What law am I obliged?
Sorry?
Which law obligates me to answer?
Yeah, the public roads and stuff like that.
Doesn't matter.
Sorry?
Doesn't matter. Do you suspect that I've entered illegally?
Sorry?
Do you suspect that I've entered the country illegally?
Sorry?
Do you suspect?
I can't hear you.
Do you suspect that I've entered the country illegally?
Which country?
Ireland.
Ireland? Are you from Ireland?
Perhaps.
Sorry?
Perhaps.
Can I see some identification then?
ID.
You don't?
No.
Right. Okay. You don't have any ID on your person whatsoever?
None.
None? Okay. You know, you're able to tell us who you are and where you're from.
I don't have to.
Sorry?
I don't have to.
It says it.
It's my obligation not to.
What country?
Under section 43 of the Irish Constitution, I have the right to assemble here.
Sorry?
Section 43, or Article 43.
No, we have section.
Well, it's different ID. You know, if a guard pulls you over on the road, you know, they can ask you for, obviously, your driver's license just to see, because obviously there's a traffic check. But generally, the guards can't really go up and on the street unless they suspect you of committing something. If they see you maybe doing graffiti or something, they can ask you. But take for example, I'm walking on the street, the guards can't just come up and say, give me ID, or arrest you. You know, and if I'm doing something like if I'm beating somebody up or something like that, obviously that's
the
so fine.
Irish Constitution.
You're mixing your countries up now.
I'm not mixing my countries up, but I have the right to assembly. Section 6, subsection 1. I have the right to assemble here. I'm just doing some filming.
No, well, he does. He's a bit of a. He's a bit like he shows a bit things.
I've done my research. I wouldn't be irresponsible. I have.
Ah, yeah, let's commit to committing a criminal offence.
You are not allowed,
Excuse
okay?
me? I don't have any press credentials. I don't need any credentials. I'm a member of the public, filming from public.
Official guard of the vehicle.
It's not an offence to do so.
Yeah, this actually is. This belongs to the station. Do you know what I mean? So you're not actually allowed.
What information could I pull from that registration?
You can. Do you know what I mean? It's not allowed. It's prohibited.
I don't think it is. I've done my research. I wouldn't be irresponsible. I have.
Well. So I'm giving you an order now to leave the area, please.
What's that, under section 8?
You do not have my permission. You do not have my permission to film me.
I don't need anyone's permission.
You do actually.
So you're ordering me under section 8 of the Public Order Act?
You're not allowed. Record.
Well, they can't get you under the Public Order Act.
Section 8. Have I contravened any other section of the Public Order Act?
Sorry?
Have I contravened any other section of the Public
Oh,
Order
yeah, of course.
Act? You need to give me a directive under section 8.
You've been informed.
Yes, but on what basis?
Give your name and address as well. That's section 24.
Well, yeah, it's, no, but she's wrong on that because unless they suspect you of committing a crime, you have to ask for your name and address. You know, like they instantly just like giving you a name and address. Like imagine that you're out in front of the Garda station answering your phone. You just happen to be walking by, and they're just like, "Give me your name and address." You know, you're just outside, just on the phone and talking to your mother, and they just come out and ask for your name and address. That's basically the same thing.
Refusing to give that. You've no ID.
I haven't committed any offences, have
no
I?
ID, on you whatsoever.
I don't need any ID.
You're saying you won't even give your details, and then you're filming.
Can you not surround me, please?
Like, look at them
Can
here.
you not surround me, please? I'm feeling very intimidated. Can you not surround me?
But you're in my workplace.
But I'm filming from public.
No, you're in my workplace.
Okay, but there's no need to stand so close.
Stand back. But you're in my workplace.
So this is an intimidation tactic?
No, it's not. You're in my workplace.
Why are you standing so close? Is there not COVID? Should we not have 2 meters distance?
You should, yeah.
Well, you're coming up to me.
No, this is my workplace.
Okay, I understand that. I'm not.
But the footpath's literally right there. You see the cyclist there gone past. It's literally, if you go to Irishtown, it's literally the footpath's right there, literally. Like, it's literally on the corner here. Like, you see there, it's on the public street there. Like, literally in the public area.
Can you have a word with, like, I don't feel like there's any need for this.
They have 3 guards out for it. Would you believe they had 3 guards out? Like, there's a guard in the cop car too.
Excuse me? I'm just making a video.
For what?
People are interested in seeing these videos.
Seeing what? The patrol cars driving in.
No, they want to see. They want to see how the authorities react to people filming from public. And they want to see the authorities respect their rights.
You can't even give a genuine reason, an explanation why you're recording.
I don't need to have a reason or an explanation.
You're filming us, and you have absolutely no explanation.
Hi, well, if I was there and the guards kind of told me just, to stop, unless they would say, unless I explained to them, but usually I would say, but if I went to the guard station in Cavan, the majority of guards would know who I am, basically. They wouldn't really pass much remarks on me. But if I went to maybe some guard station, they wouldn't know who I am. Because obviously they know me from when the town hall, the guards, so, for me on the council they would know. And if I went in the council uniform, they wouldn't ban an eyelid, because obviously, you're in the tower of the council, so they wouldn't really. But obviously, if he went into Cavan Town, the guards obviously. But they can go out and ask you, what you're doing, obviously. But they can't do anything else about that. Unless they expect you.
You don't. I told you I don't want to.
But yeah, in England they do have the Terrorism Act. Again, in England it's different. They have the Terrorism Act. If they think you're recording for terrorist purposes to get information by film by guards, if you're committed in England, if you're committing, you could be committing the Terrorist Act. It's different. Yeah, like that guy, the first thing, he went into the gal's house and was like, what are you filming for? Filming from YouTube, okay. And he was like, can I have a look around the gal? And the gal went off. And, basically after that, didn't show the rest of it, but he let him in. And there was no problem. The gal was like, here's the cells, you're showing him around. And then, that's basically it. He showed him around the cells and that was basically it. The gal didn't pass any marks and he said goodbye to him after he was finished. And that was basically it. There's no big issue made.
Well, you're welcome to...
You're in our workplace.
I'm not in your workplace. I'm in a public place.
No, it's not. This is our workplace.
So this isn't a public place?
This is our workplace. Oh, this is part
But if he probably walked away, this is the thing, they probably would say he was resisting the West. So he's fleeing from Garda Síochána. And they'll probably get him for that. He's resisting the West. He's resisting. He's fleeing. They're fleeing a scene or whatever. They could get that. Yeah, he's English.
You can't even give a proper explanation.
There is a proper explanation.
You're not.
Matters of public interest. The public are interested to see how their tax money is being spent. Interactions between the public and the authorities.
You can't even tell us where you're from, so we don't even know.
I don't need to tell you.
So why are you saying you're doing it on behalf of taxpayers when you can't prove you're a taxpayer?
I don't need to prove I'm a taxpayer. What about other taxpayers?
You're a hypocrite.
Okay. Let's reserve.
Well, in fairness too, like he came over from England to do this in Ireland, so.
You prove and I'll have a discussion with you, but at the moment you're just a hypocrite.
Okay, I'll be a hypocrite. You're standing so close, bro. There's no need for this.
I'm not your bro.
I'm not your. Alright.
I'm just curious. I like your phone, you see.
Like he kind of gets very weird, this guy.
You didn't tell him to pack it in. Like, there's no need. Excuse me?
And I wouldn't mind, but these three guards, there could be somebody being mugged down the street, and these guards are standing around, Now you see him, he's all over. He'd be very popular now. As I say, this has to happen in the field.
Why do I need to stop recording? I'm just expressing my right to film from public. This is very unprofessional behaviour. Excuse me?
Private cars as well in there. You have no right.
But he's not in there, I suppose you
They're not
could say.
exempt from being filmed.
No, you're there. You have no regard. There's a security issue, right? You have no right.
I know, but the guards could just be like, fuck this, there's nothing behind it. If I was that woman guard with him, I'd be like, fuck this, we'll go off and patrol instead of that. I would ask him what he's doing, obviously. But after he said I'm just recording for YouTube, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm off, good luck. And, I'd be off on the street, Like, they don't need three of them. One guard would be enough if they needed a guard. They should have just kept her there and the two of them went off and done patrol.
You have no right to record.
They don't need three now. Like, what's he gonna do?
In public or anything
You're
I can
not
see
in a
from
public
public.
place.
But I can film them from public.
No, it's a private area. You're not allowed.
It'd be different if he went into the back there. If he went into the back.
Security with regards to it.
Security in regards to what?
Because they're guards, private vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, they are. Well, what did you think they were?
Excuse me? I have done my homework, but I can film anything from public. This is very unprofessional.
No, it's not. You're recording me. I can record you.
But this whole trying to surround me, intimidate me, like...
He's allowed to record you. We're in a public place.
You seem quite reasonable. I'd rather speak with you. Like, you two, I don't know, like...
You two what?
What's going on?
You're asked a question why you're recording.
They're right. Recording. Private vehicles.
And private.
Okay, is it an offence?
To record private vehicles.
I haven't been able to make out any private
Not
vehicles.
really. Who are we going by? You say that.
But regardless, they can be filmed.
Sorry, it's safety as well.
And your CCTV cameras film everyone's private cars.
It's safety.
Okay, I'm not here to...
I think we probably have enough there. They basically, they kind of fuck off after. Like, they just kind of fuck off. They don't really do anything, but they kind of just fuck off. But there's another one I just want to show you briefly. But but you know yourself, but it's kind of, I wouldn't have been there. I just kind of asked him, like, that first scout asked him, what you're doing it for, and he said YouTube, and he was like, okay then. And the man asked, can I see around the Garda station? And the man went off and he basically asked, could he show him around the cells and stuff, and that's basically what happened. Nothing was done. But yeah, this one here I want to show you. That's like I think one guard nearly actually fucking bet him up, basically.
What of these?
In Bridgewell, do you know Bridgewell Garda station? I was beside this before once. Bridgewell. I think this was the detective.
I was just making a video
See.
of the police station for matters of public interest. So Who are you?
I'm a member of Garda Síochána.
Of what, sorry?
A member of the force here.
Oh, okay. Can you
This
can
is
I see like a
detective, I
warrant
think
card
it
or
is.
some sort of identification?
Which
or
way,
something?
yeah.
Excellent.
I'll ask you likewise. Can I see your identification?
I don't carry ID.
Do you not?
No.
Do you mind not?
No. Chill. I'm in public. I can film. Yo. Chill. Put your hand down. Yo. Chill. Put your hand down, man. Alright, bro. Put your hand down. I'm not gonna put the camera down. I'm filming in public. What do you want?
Why are you recording that?
I'm just filming from public.
Yeah, but I'm asking you in the interest of the public.
Bro, what are you doing, bro? Don't touch me. Get your hand off me. Get your hand. Listen. Get your hand off me. No. Bro, why did you just push me? Look, this guy just assaulted me. Hey, yo, come here. Why did you just assault me? Come around the corner, come. Look at this guy, man. Did you just witness him assault me? You didn't witness that, no? You like assaulting members of the public? Yeah. Look at this guy, come. Yeah. See that, come.
I think he sued and Garda Síochána for this. I think he sued them for it.
How about that? If you touch me again, I'll defend myself.
Yeah, go to the station report, okay?
If you touch me again, I'll defend myself.
You can wait for
If you touch me again,
I'm asking you to stop recording me, alright?
don't touch me.
Right, have you done enough now, have you?
What's up? I'll put the camera down, what's up?
I think he did sue and Garda Síochána. I think he got a lot of money out of it. Like he sued them for it.
Fucking dickhead, man.
Yes, that's happened to him.
Right,
And after that, nothing really happened.
It's not my business, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of harassment, yeah. Like that's what got you.
Yeah.
There's another. This is a Bridgewater too.
In a video. The police station. Matters of public interest.
This will be the last thing showing you.
The public are interested.
Is Shawnee still here? I asked you a question, and I know I was about to just talk about that. What you said about an hour ago nearly
That's
this
what it
thing.
is. Yeah. So I've got an interest. What, are you police? Garda?
Yeah.
Can I see some, like, you got a warrant card or anything?
Why do you want to see that?
How do I know that you're Garda? I just want to know that I'm talking to someone with jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction of what?
I don't know.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I would just like to know that I'm speaking with Garda personnel. Like, you're asking questions. All right, well, how do I verify that?
Because I told you. You're standing outside the Garda station recording it.
Because you told me, like, it's not really verifying anything, is it?
You're the one that came here.
I know, but what's how do I identify you from a civilian?
You don't need to identify from it. You're the one that came to the Garda station.
Okay.
Well, you have an interest in Garda stations, is it?
I'm just filming from public.
For the public?
Yeah.
So you can make a TikTok video probably, is it?
No.
So the public want to see the black gate there at the back of the station?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you got a warrant card?
I do, yeah.
Can I see it, please?
What do you want to see it for?
So I know that I'm speaking to a Garda.
You are, I'm telling you.
Alright.
You're not being questioned, so what do you want to see a warrant for?
Excuse me?
You're not being questioned, you're just talking.
I know, but...
Have you done something wrong that you want to tell us about? No?
No. Have you?
Have I?
Have you? Yeah, where have you just come from?
Where have I come from?
Yeah.
What do you mean where have I come from?
I don't know, where have you come from?
Is
there anything that you want to tell me? Like,
Is that any of your business?
So you haven't come from the pub or anything?
How is that any of your business?
It's not my business, I'm just curious. No, I haven't, no, not yet. Excuse me? Yeah. Yeah.
And how many
I'm just wondering.
How many followers or viewers have you got watching at the moment?
None.
None? Is that the purpose of this? You want to get a few followers?
No.
Okay. What is the purpose of it?
Just for use it for my own recreation.
Recreation? Oh, recreation. Did you ever try any other sports or hobbies? No?
I play football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that go for you? Good?
Yeah, not bad.
Right. Would you more interested in filming a black gate at the back of the Garda station? Let's look at your hobby anyway.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks, bye.
Anyway, there's I was just trying to show you. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if Shawnee's still here. I should have asked him when I seen it. But what was the question again exactly? Shawnee said. I don't know if he's still here, but I can try and briefly speak about the. Overall, I think it's bad man is filming people. I don't know if I'm walking on the street. I don't know if some lad's filming me. I suppose I don't know if he's still. Shawnee's still here. Just I think it's just Tony and Sean Mack that's here. Unfortunately, I should have asked Shawnee when he was here. Obviously, you know, I do feel awkward, I would say, if I went down and started going down Main Street Cav and start filming people. I know I've done it, you know, filmed places before, like Paul Clares and things like that, just to show. But I kind of can understand if you're going down the street and just film everybody walking past. It kind of is bad manners, but it's still at the end of the day, there's no law really against it. That's the thing. So they kind of there's no people can. I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't do it. I would like take for example now in the morning. I was walking right down going down Main Street, Cavan White, and everybody's going past me with Christmas shop and stuff like that. And I'm just filming everybody going past me. You know, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that because some people would. Just I don't know to get a reaction out of people sometimes. As I say that that man there came over from England. He done it very well. He got 10,000 or something out of them. He got a lot of money out of them. Basically, I think he sued the guards for basically assaulting them with that guard. You know, I don't know was it 10,000, but it was a lot of money. It was in the thousands anyway. He got, I think, because he sues the guard. This is the thing too. It can be very profitable. There was one person that done it in America, and he got 100,000 out of it because the guards fractured his arm. Like the police officer fractured. He tried to put it in cuffs and just kind of pushed it straight behind his back and kind of fractured his arm. So he got a huge insurance. He got a huge claim out of the police. So people do this too, because they get a lot of money. Because if the guards arrest you falsely, you know, and it goes to court, obviously they'll be paying out a huge amount, too. So you know, he makes a lot of money from doing it. Because in England, there he was arrested a few times under the Terrorism Act because they thought he was a terrorist. Like he was in Scotland Yard, take for example. He was arrested. He was arrested by armed police. The armed police came out and arrested him at gunpoint. And he was able to, because he was filming, he wasn't doing anything wrong and all that, and they sorted them and things like that. So he got hundreds of thousands out of them for doing it, because they had him at gunpoint and they were going to shoot him because he was questioned why he was being arrested. And things like that. But, you know, he got loads of money out of that time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Trying to get a reaction. I suppose too, some of them are generally do what to just say to the guards and to the police, you know, look, I can do this. You know, it is in my right to do this, you know. But some of them, again, they do what to just get a few bob out of it. Like, he probably was hoping, you know, that guard and that woman there would assault him and put him into the back of the squad car unjustifiably, you know. So he could go to court and, you know, get them, basically, get loads of money off them. Like, as he did there in Bridewell Galway Station. He sued them and, you know, for that detective assaulting them. And obviously got a good few bob out of it, because obviously the guards probably felt very embarrassed, they would. Because again, they were filmed, they were viewed nearly 300,000 times, you know, so it didn't look too well on, you know, on Galveston O'Connell. Especially because obviously it does go fire with these things. So, you know, they wouldn't want to, that to happen, I suppose. Is this thing on? Yeah, I just thought I'd show you that. But I understand Sean McKay is still here. Harry is still here. I should have responded to him. But yeah, obviously it's bad manners. I do think it's bad manners just to go down and deliberately film everybody going past, take for example. Obviously if you're walking down the street, you're on live stream or something, and you have your face, you know, the way I could go down the street, I could have my camera like this, right, going down the street, just filming everybody going like this, showing everybody's face and what they have and all that. But if I was going down the street like this and just showing my face, you know, going in front of me, you know, that's fair enough, you know, because you're showing your face, basically. You're not really focusing on the person, you're focusing on yourself more. If you're doing it like this, if you're holding your phone like this, focusing on yourself more if you're doing this, just going around the street filming everybody. I think that'd be bad, but if you were doing it like this, maybe that'd be a different story. But yeah, I've seen people do live streams like Instagram Live and stuff like that, have big things. Where's the yoke? Give me a second. I
drop me card, knock the card, drop me card, knock the. If I could find the yoke, I would be appreciated. Where is the yoke? I had it about a year ago. The output was emissions. I actually don't know where the fuck it is. Give me a second, I'll tell about half the country. Oh, I don't know about this. Excuse me for a second, sorry.
I'll find it now in a sec, just give me 2 seconds. I have it somewhere, I don't know where it is exactly, but I have it somewhere. Just give me 2 seconds, everyone's on. Where is it? I wouldn't mind, but I was looking at it one day. Where the fuck is the fuck now? I'm sure it's here somewhere, but I can't think about it. It's definitely up here somewhere.
Well, where is it? That's the next question. I seen it over here last time, but I don't know where. Bitch. Oh, I have it. I had to tell part half of the house to get it. Yeah. Sorry, man.
Like, take for example, Philip with Dryer does this. Like, I can't do it with my phone cover, obviously. But, you know, the idea is you hold it, the idea of this, I have it. I used when I have it for different things. It's not as good as quality pop, it's very fun, but you know, the idea if I ever was going out and things that I could, you know, do it and you focused on yourself basically more. That's what these things are for. I've seen people go around on Instagram do these, like in public. I've seen them do it, talk to Instagram people on Facebook and things. Like the idea is you have it this way, facing towards you, not really facing that way, like facing, like think with the camera, as I say, everyone. If the camera's like that going around just filming everybody. Because again, you can see a lot of stuff. You can see people's pin codes. If you put that high over on the end air and you were looking in a shop window or something like, you can see people's pin codes and record it. And you know, it could be trouble then. But, you know. Also, I paid €40 for this and I never used it. I don't think I ever used it once. Yeah, it was €40 I paid. Never used it once. Might have used it once. No, but I don't think I ever used it again. But yeah, €40 I never used it. So there you are. So what are we taking? I know I probably should ask Shawnee. Yeah, should add to Shawnee here. But in truth, yeah, too. There are, you know, I would say it's bad manners too to go around filming. For the purpose of just filming. I mean, it's different if you film a building like in the Phoenix Park and you film in the hours and people are just, you know, happen to be standing around and things like that. But if you're deliberately going down a street just basically to film everybody, just because reasons that don't exist basically, then you know obviously I think it's bad manners. In my opinion. But yeah, any of the questions or any of the thoughts on that? And but I'm known. Basically come across a lot of people that know me. I wouldn't know them, but a lot of people do know me from YouTube and things. A lot of people do know me from Carpenter, particularly. A lot of them would know me. But yeah, it is quite actually regular. I get recognised. I'm not going to lie to you. It actually is probably about 3 or 4 times a month. The girls, they know me from around the town, basically. Not that I'm in trouble or anything with them or anything. And should they see me often in the town, so they're not really, they know who I am, basically. So if I went up into the barracks in the morning now, they wouldn't really bat an eyelid because they know who I am. They probably ask me why I was filming, because they probably think it'd be unusual now for me to just be standing around arsing around doing nothing, filming a girl's barracks, They'd be like, what the fuck is he doing this for? What's the purpose of it? They might be interested in that, but... And then they'll probably fuck off then. Yeah, Christmas jokers, yeah, they're interested in that, and they'll just give me 2 seconds, I'm going to run to the toilet. Hello everyone, sorry. We won't stay too long, because of walking them on, obviously. So, yeah, anything else to add about that? Because we kind of talked about that for nearly an hour. And it kind of was up to what was it? What was first we said about it? We said about Leo. Then we got into this big debate about your privacy and stuff like that. Good chats, yes. But too bad Shawnee was gone, because I should have answered these questions at the time, but I was in the middle of talk about something. And if I did that, so I probably would have forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, obviously it can be different. I will say this: it can be different for military bases and obviously places of national security. Obviously, what I mean by that is army barracks and stuff like that. It can be a bit more vague. I will say that because obviously the military institution. Obviously, to take for example, down the Kildare there, okay, down the Coa, take for example, the army bases down there. The Department of Defence's headquarters, right, in the Coa down there, in Kildare. If you look that up on Google Maps, it's completely censored off. You can't see the building. You can't see nothing about the building because obviously, that's obviously national security. So yeah, if you looked at the Department of Defence main building, you wouldn't find it. This is where you wouldn't find it. Which is obviously understandable because obviously it is a military place. It's not for really be filming and all that crack, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Who else is here apart from Sean? If anybody has anything to add before I go. If anybody has anything to say before we go, in relation to that, because I might be forgetting something else, in relation to the basic recording in public and stuff like that. Is it yeah, there was a lot of people here when I was talking and showing the videos, but I think everybody just left. I wouldn't mind, but there was a lot of people talking about different things there when I was in the middle of showing the videos and stuff like that. You know, and I didn't have time because I was in the middle of showing the videos and talking about it. And now when I have time, you know, there's had to answer people's questions because I was going on a big tangent about that. What was right and what was wrong. You know. But anyway, I think we will tip on now. I think I've kind of said all I have to say. About it, yeah, because we kind of talked about Leo, and then that kind of went into all that. And basically went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, good night everyone, good night Sean. Yeah, because I don't think there's anything else to say. We probably know if Shawnee K is in it tomorrow, the chat tomorrow, and try and answer his question again, just to basically just to reinstate what I just said. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Good night.